Hey everyone, Malwave here, and I'm here with another Transformers video review. I wanted to apologize if there was no video last week. A lot of things came up. So, to make up for it, I've decided to do something a little different. So, bear with me though if the amaze and the awe comes through in my voice. Because to this day, I'm still surprised I even own this thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the video review of Transformers Beast Wars 2 Lio Convoy. Now, I'm sure most of you are like, wow, who the hell is Lio Convoy? You know, who? I'm sure there's at least a small percentage who are going, wait, who the hell is Lio Convoy? Well, okay. For those of you who don't know, Lio Convoy was the leader of the Maximals in the Beast Wars 2 anime. Now, the story about Convoy is that after he crash lands on the planet, a white lion decides to save him. And he then is allowed to scan his alt mode. Now, now I'm sure most of you are wondering, but this doesn't look like a lion. You know, this doesn't look like the Lio Convoy from the TV show. Like, that doesn't... Note to self, be incredibly prepared. This doesn't look like the Lio Convoy color scheme that I'm used to. Well, of course not. This is the more hard to find rare, which means the exact same thing, Flash Lio Convoy variant. For the only thing I have that can really compare to the color scheme is the Universe 2.0 Leo Prime. And you can tell that it's got about the general color scheme. Just imagine this color scheme on this. I can't really compare this Leo Prime to Lio Convoy. That's like comparing a waterfall to a puddle. This toy in itself, I like the detailing. I like the nice, again, just wait for it to autofocus. The very nice, almost like a kind of a sparkly, transparent plastic. It's not, and it doesn't suffer from gold plastic syndrome. This isn't gold plastic. This is kind of a gold flecked plastic. So it's its own plastic. It's just got gold flecks embedded into it. It's also got some nice transparent white plastic here. It's got some nice paint details everywhere, all over the toy. This toy, I will say, is probably one of the more gorgeous that I own. As you get a very glamorous ass shot. Lio Convoy's ass. Donna! Anyways. The toy itself, well, the vehicle mode does sport a few things. Now, there are a few gimmicks that for the robot mode work, but for the vehicle mode don't. You've got the underclaws here, which basically they flip out, but they don't really have much purpose there. You've also got the tornado head gimmick, but, well, it won't spin that well. But what you do have is not only his line articulation, which, well, I'll get to that in a second. You not only have his little button on the top here that makes Lio Convoy roar, but you've also got, if you push down here, I believe here? Oh no, here. This little button here. You've got these two things that pop out the top, plus two little missile launchers on the side. Now, I don't have the missiles on me at the moment. They're still in their baggie. But just imagine just 4 missiles about maybe that long in each of those little ones. Now, line articulation, obviously, the front feet are ball jointed. You've got the rear feet, which have the standard articulation for the toy, and these actually turn into his back legs. You know, it's got some nice articulation for a lion mode. Only problem is, be wary that sometimes these front legs are weak. I had to use the old super glue and or nail polish, or nail varnish technique to strengthen them. So all in all, I will give Lio Convoy's vehicle mode a 23 out of 25. A 23 out of 50. Yeah, that's a horrible score. 23 out of 25. The toy, it resembles the lion mode perfectly. I like the plastic. I like the plastic for the mane. It's got some nice articulation. It's got some pretty good gimmicks, even though some of them, not the full range of them, are useful. And all in all, he is probably one of the more impressive lion modes ever. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I could give this toy's transformation much justice. And I think I'm almost halfway through my time limit in the YouTube video. So instead, I will rely on the animation from the Beast Wars 2 cartoon, which is an accurate transformation, I might add, to show it off for us.
Lio Convoy, HENSHIN!
Flash Lio Convoy, in his robot mode. And as you can already tell, I've had to move the camera out just so I can get the scale. But if I could get a good scale of the toy, I will take random toy from my collection. Yes, because that's a great size comparison. But as you can tell, just from the size, Ravage is just up to his burly chest. Which is, actually, this is kind of poignant, because I believe in one of the comics, Ravage got scared off by Lio Convoy. So, yeah, I totally planned that. But yes, Lio Convoy has a very nice stance. I would recommend, when you stand him up, to put one leg splayed out, because, unfortunately, this is one of the things against the toy that I will mention later. Whoa! Okay, I don't think I need to mention it later. Again, you might need to do the old super glue technique on his knees, but his knees are weak. That's one knock I have against the whole toy. It's just the fact that his knees are incredibly weak, and if you post, and he's not entirely a strong toy. That's why when I display him, I put him on a shelf that doesn't get much bumps, because this guy would fall over all the time. But for articulation, Lio Convoy has a bit. He's got a 360-degree head rotation. If you lift up his shoulders there, shoulder is ball jointed. The elbow has a ball joint, I guess you could say kind of a semi-ball joint in there, and it pivots 90 degrees. Now the hand I marked as no articulation unless you count this. Again, I don't consider that an articulation point, because why the hell would you become limp-wristed? It's like the Dragon Zord. LOL, Evangelist video. He's got waist articulation, 360 degrees. I don't want to rotate it all the way, because, again, the knees. The knees! Denise! Denise! His leg can go about 90 degrees out, so sorry, Time Lord, no Perceptor kick. And, unfortunately, it's about 90 degrees forward and back in total. His knees, depending on how tight your joint is, can rotate 360 degrees, and is a double-jointed knee. And his foot has some articulation, mostly in the rear on the heel, so you can get his heel into a kind of a leaning forward position if you wish. I don't know why you would, but the option is there. So for articulation, I give Lio Convoy a 22. There's some points of articulation, but there isn't as many as what I could have wanted. But this is where it gets really good. Gimmick. Gimmick is 21. Now I'm sure you're all wondering, oh, well, he just said it, this is where it gets good. He has a lot of gimmicks. Just not all of them are very good. One thing I will say, he has a gimmick on, his first gimmick is obviously the missile launchers, you know. He's got 2 on his, in vehicle mode, he would have 4 altogether. In robot mode, he's got 2 on his top. But, if you notice, this toy is incredibly hard to keep. I need one of those, like, those display stands. But anyways, this thing here, if I can find the trigger. Ah, here we go. Okay. I'll rotate the whole arm around. This is the little button here. You press this, and the spring loads opens up for another missile launcher. Remember that, because I used to always just pull the thing out until I found the actual button, so I may have damaged the toy a little bit. He's also got a nice little gimmick involving his chest. Alright, now, obviously all Autobot leaders will have the Matrix of Leadership, as per the 1986 movie. When you open this up, oh, hey, the light's actually activating the little rub symbol right there. But yes, you get a nice little Matrix of Leadership and a rub symbol. Now, another gimmick that you would get with this toy is, as per I mentioned earlier, the flip-out claws. In this mode, looks a lot better. He looks a lot more threatening, doesn't he? Slash. He's like Wolverine, only without the regeneration powers. Now, the last one that I can mention for gimmick, and this is why I scored it so low, is this. You fold this down, you fold this up, and then there's a little button, this big button here. You can have a giant blade of death on his shoulder. Yay. You know, it's okay, I just don't really consider it all that good. Not to mention, as you can tell, without the missile launchers up, Lio Convoy can't see, so. Now, fun factor, this toy, I will score at an even 18. Now, why is this toy, even though I said it's all great and whatnot, why is this toy score so low? There are a few reasons. One, Flash Lio Convoy is incredibly hard to get a hold of. As you can tell, not only from the instruction manual, which, by the way, Darth Grimlock, if you're watching this, very nice inclusion, and by the catalog. Oh, son of a bitch! That's where I could have compared the color scheme. Yeah, okay, before I continue, this is basically what Lio Convoy could have looked like. This was the original color scheme. But yes, judging by not only the instruction manual and the promotional thing, Lio Convoy is a Japanese-only toy. This toy was never released in America, or in North America. Likewise, this is mostly because this was a Japanese-only anime. Beast Wars 2 was never released in America. It was never released anywhere aside from Japan. And what's even better is this is the movie version. Flash Lio Convoy was part of a... Oh, that's where I went. Flash Lio Convoy is part of a movie. The Beast Wars 2 movie, where Optimus Primal and Lio Convoy turn into their Super Saiyan modes, so Flash Lio Convoy and Burning Convoy. And this was the toy release for that Flash Lio Convoy. It just makes it even harder to get a hold of. He's also tends to fall over, as you noticed in this review. Now, the only thing I will say that makes this toy very fun is the fact that it turns into a lion, and the fact that it's got so much to offer. I'm sure a kid in the 90s would have loved this. So, overall, I will give this toy an 84 out of 100. It's still a respectable score, and I will say, despite some of the problems that it does possess, it's still a great toy to have in my collection. So, until next time, this is Malwave with Flash Lio Convoy, signing out. See ya, everybody. How low can you go, Lio Convoy? How low can you go? Na 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 na.